in 2026, he announces that he's going to release this new album. But he also announces on April 1st of 2026 that Atlantic Records has been screwing him hard, not providing any promotional funding, and essentially, because he's telling them he doesn't want to make TikTok songs anymore, they aren't helping him promote his new album even a little bit. So he decides to leave Atlantic Records, and he makes it very public what was going on with him.
I just got word that my album is no longer coming out. Love You Madly, Hate You Badly is officially canceled, and I'm parting ways with Atlantic Records. Behind the scenes has been nothing short of a nightmare. I have no marketing budgets for music videos, no digital ad spend. Nobody really cares in the building, it seems like. I made a lot of money for Atlantic Records, and they don't seem to remember that. I have gotten no support. They forgot to ingest multiple songs into the system, which means the songs didn't come out. I had a Valentine's Day breakout song that didn't even get released because someone forgot to put it in. I don't really understand how that's possible. I've made them tens of millions of dollars, but they don't remember that. So, the music is owned by them. The remainder of the music will not be coming out. I will always continue to make music. Thank you for everyone who's supported me. I can't wait to release more music at some point at a later time, but for now, there is nothing on the horizon. I'm so sorry. I love you guys. Thank you.
Which reminded me of Prince and Aaron Carter, Michael Jackson. The list goes on. Now, it's important to note that the current CEO of Atlantic Records is Elliot Grange, and his dad is Lucient Grange, and he is the CEO of UMG Music. And if you guys know much about the whole TikTok thing, UMG was the big music supplier for TikTok. And then there was all this weird falling out. And then I think that they're now re-upped on that contract with TikTok. And that's how people like Oliver Tree had their music explode, because songs like Miss You, they show up all the time in TikTok audio stuff. So people add those songs to their music, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else. And that's one of the reasons why he was so popular, especially with the younger generation. He was done doing that. He wanted to be taken more seriously as an artist. He was done with the characters. He was done being on TikTok. He just wanted to move on and produce music and be taken more seriously. Now, this next piece I felt was very important. On April 12th, just 12 days after the initial post, he comes back dressed as a member of KISS, who knows why, and he addresses the Atlantic Music Group situation and says that they've actually had people reach out because so many fans wrote the company and were like, yo, this is effed. What are you doing to Oliver Tree? Like, not cool. So the company felt like their hand was forced and they negotiated a deal. They released the album that he was going to release with Atlantic back to Oliver and allowed him to release the album under his record label, Alien Boy Records. It's also been said that when Atlantic Records got back to Oliver Tree about his music deal, getting his music back, they actually made him a deal to join the Illuminati, which he allegedly turned down. Also, the last song on this album, titled I'm Gone, features him being on fire, getting put out by fire extinguishers. The song is 3 minutes and 33 seconds long, which seems a little weird, especially if you combine it with this album artwork that definitely gives me Illuminati vibes.
I left my record label, let's talk about it. After making tens of millions of dollars over 8 years for Atlantic Records, they no longer want to support my art because I'm not making songs for TikTok. And after dedicating my entire life to making art, I never got into this to make TikTok songs. I know the effects of TikTok. I've had multiple songs that connected there, but that's not why I got into making art. Over the last 2.5 years, I traveled 82 countries and recorded this album on all 7 continents. These are the types of projects that charge me as an artist. This is why I got into it in the first place. And just because I'm not making songs for TikTok means that the label doesn't want to support the vision. Well, guess what? I don't give a shit. And after you guys have joined together in tens of thousands and sent messages to the label, we have officially reached a negotiation over the past course of a week. My team has got the label to agree to release Love You Madly, Hate You Badly on my personal imprint, Alien Boy Records. You guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This music is finally going to see daylight. So support your local indie artists and go pre-order my album. April 24th is the official date. I love you all.
Things seemed good. In fact, all of his social media posts following this split from Atlantic Records seemed amazingly positive and upbeat. He seemed like he was having such a good time. He had planned this actual world tour, the first ever true world tour, which is just another perfect highlight of how funny this dude is and his character. But he included Antarctica on his world tour list. They were going to actually have a full-on show there, and it was already sold out. He had embarked on this world tour, and he was cruising through Mexico because his album actually reached #1 on the charts in Mexico. So he was touring down there, having tons of fun, just making tons of content, with Mexican and South American collaborators. And he was starting to make his way down through South America for the next leg of his tour when he found himself in Brazil. This might mean something, also might mean nothing. But this picture of Oliver with this giant statue in the background, which is in Brazil, roughly 20 kilometers from where the helicopter crashed, looks eerily similar to him being crucified on his scooter. Probably means nothing. Unbeknownst to everybody, on June 6th of this year, Oliver Tree would play his last show in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He would then stay in Brazil for probably a couple of weeks because he didn't have any shows scheduled. Probably just enjoying some personal time, maybe doing some content creation, linking up with local collabs, stuff that he would do pretty regularly. He was huge on collaboration. It seemed like he was collaborating with a South American YouTuber named Gaspy. And I didn't realize this dude was so big. He's only got 9 videos, but they have millions of views. It's crazy. With the World Cup going on, there's tons of videos of him just having a good time with people in Brazil, playing soccer, and just having fun, seemingly in really good spirits. And something I learned in my research is that people who had the money to do it, allegedly it must cost $31,000 and some change, based on this post from Oliver Tree. But you can use helicopters to avoid traffic and avoid being seen by people and just to save time, really. So a lot of people who are wealthy down in South America, and probably everywhere else too, use helicopters to get around. Unfortunately, the morning of June 14th, Gaspy, whose name was Gaspar Prim, he was traveling around just helping Oliver document his tour, and they were doing a bunch of content creation while Oliver was down there. The morning of June 14th, they would load up in a helicopter, trying to save some time. Who knows what they were doing? It's still under investigation. We're not really sure yet. I would imagine that they were going off to film some sort of content, because not only was Oliver and Gaspy in the helicopter, but we also had pilot Alexandra Souza. We had Argentinian director and screenwriter Lucas Vignale. We had another Lucas, who was a Brazilian music producer, Lucas Brito Chavez. And unfortunately, around 8:59 in the morning, this pilot didn't see that there was another helicopter flying in their area. Unfortunately, they collided with Charles Marciak, who was flying alone in his own personal helicopter. It's speculated that the pilot was distracted because they might have been filming something, and perhaps they weren't paying attention and smashed into another helicopter.
But here's the thing. In the report, there was only one person on board of the helicopter that ran into them, and that was the pilot. So I'm not sure how that one-man helicopter was trying to get a close-up of them. And there is some wild speculation that there wasn't even anyone on that helicopter in the first place. It was unmanned.
I found this fact to be extremely crucial because there was an eyewitness that claims to have seen a person jumping out of the other helicopter.